Everyone. I thought I'd go into this painting. I wanted to play a little bit. As you know, I do this quite often with my paintings. I will go back in and kind of rework them, older paintings. This was one I took of a hike here in Chino Hills, and I started to play with it to add some different elements to it, and figured I'd go ahead and hop on and share it with you. So today I am using my Dugato brush. As you know, I typically use my Princeton Velvetouch, is my favorite. I love the feel. It's very soft and it's got that wonderful short handle, wonderful bristles. I've had some of my Princetons for years and years and years. And if you take care of them, they last forever. Although today I am using this wonderful Dugato set. If you don't want to jump into the Princetons, this is a great little beginner set. I recommend all the time, and I've had these for a year. They still have great points on them, and you get a whole set of anywhere between 10 and 13, depending on where you're at in the country, for under $15. I'm also going to be using, the same as I did originally, my MEEDEN palette. This is the smaller palette without the metallics, but it's still a wonderful palette, and I actually think I'm going to just wake them up a bit here with a little spritzer. There we go. And kind of get them going and activated. As you know, I love those paints. They're really creamy. They're beautiful. This is the metallic set, if you're just curious, by the way. It's the same set. It just has these wonderful metallics. So both sets are really great depending on what money, buy what you can afford. I don't paint in the Winsor Newton every day because I just paint too much. So that isn't practical for me. Okay. Oh, and I'm painting on the 100% MEEDEN cold press paper. I love this paper for wet in wet. As you know, I'm an Artisto fan, and I love them because you can label them, you can flip through them, and kind of keep them in like a library of your work. But when I paint really wet in wet, I will use the MEEDEN block. Let me show you. So here it is. And this is 100% cotton as well. So for those of you that tell me Artisto isn't 100% cotton, but I'm telling you, it is a fabulous paper. This for me is the next step up. And I love this as well. And it's on a block, so that's kind of cool. All right, let's get started. What I want to do is first kind of rework those clouds in the background. So I'm just picking up some paint, and actually I'm going to re-wet this. Just going to use this old brush I have. As you can see, it's all falling apart. I've probably had this, I'm not kidding you, since college. And I'm just going to give my sky kind of a little, wet it just a bit. And then I'm going to go in with some of this cloud type vibe. Just kind of going in, using some different blues. The skies here are just so incredible in the morning. I wish I could explain them to you. They are truly outstanding. And I tend to, when I'm making clouds, I will tend to make them a little bit darker, because then when I go in and blot them, which I'm going to do in a minute for maybe some of the white puffy clouds, it shows up a lot more. So I've got my little tissue here, just going to take some of that. And I'm trying to somewhat lead the eye a little bit. And then I'm going to go back in with some of that blue and just touch in. The clouds here are so remarkable in the morning. I like to do early morning hikes, and they are just truly magical. So there we go. I'm going to leave that at that. I love this right here. And in the morning, there's every color in these skies. Okay, so I started a little bit of some mountains and hills, but I'm going to do a little bit more. And in the background, of course, they're going to be a little bit more grayish. And then right here, I've just put enough paint on my brush, and I'm using about a 50-50 blend here. So I've got my olive gray and maybe some sap green here. And it's about 50 water, 50 paint. And then I'm tapping off. And again, I'm using these wonderful beginner brushes. They're very inexpensive. And I'm just going to go in and start adding some little just little hillsides kind of showing up in the background. Then I rinse my brush, and I've just got a damp brush, and I'm going to go along that edge and kind of mellow it out a bit. I've got a little bit too of this olive gray and some gray, or even that Payne's blue. And that's about an 80 water, 20 pigment. And going to create some little lines. Now washing and rinsing my brush and softening that line. So I'm getting the feeling of hills coming in and out. I have a little bit of yellow ochre on my brush here, and I will also add some of that in. Soften those lines. I have to be careful here because I don't want to overwork any of this, but I felt like I wanted to play a little bit. I think what I'll do here is re-wet that. Now I don't want to brush too much because it will reactivate that paint, but I'm going to add some darker green in here. So I'm going to use my olive green. Not sure if you can see that over here. And start touching in here. And what that does to me immediately is it really pops this out. Let's wet this side too. Just with a damp brush, and I don't want to go over this too much because it will reactivate those paints, and then it'll start smearing. So there we go. I kind of like that. It gives this feeling of this is in the front here, and you're looking out over these mountains. And then I might add in some of that goldish, a little bit of that brown. Kind of in there. So I've got the gold and the sepia. That gold can really take over, so be kind of careful with that. I'm also leaving some light spots in here because I don't want to cover everything. And I want to have some fun dimension in here. Maybe some of that gold. Let's see, where could we put that? Well, we'll put it right here. Kind of in the background. To kind of look like some rolling hills. There we go. Kind of like that. And now I'm going to go in. We're just starting to see some bright yellow and orange poppies. Let's practice. You know, I just happen to have these sitting here. These are a marker. Oh, hoo, hoo. And let's see what those might do. I don't know what this is going to do, you guys. So actually, before I do that, let's sprinkle some orange because we're starting to see the poppies here. And they are just gorgeous. Every year they just are so breathtaking. There we go. Sometimes, by the way, I like to go back into my clouds and add some water because it will create these really cool blooms, which look kind of like clouds. Okay. So I'm just really playing here. I'm going to take my little credit card and maybe pull out some little grasses. I think that's kind of fun and interesting. There we go. I got a lot of stuff going on here, but that's okay. Okay, let's take, actually, I'm switching here. I found this Copic opaque white built-in fine liner brush. And actually what I used that for is, I don't have it here now. Let me show you. It is really, really, really white. This is a tutorial I have coming up, by the way. I haven't finished it. And I used that white right here and right here. So it's really white. So let's just dot in. It's got a really fine little brush on it. And let's just dot in some little white flowers. And I feel like this too also really brings your eye into the foreground. Might even be able to splatter this. Not sure. We could try here. I really like that. Let's see. Oh yeah, it kind of splatters. It's a pretty fine brush, so it doesn't splatter too much, and the splatters are quite small. I think it's not the best for that application for that, but that's okay. Okay, so we've got kind of some of that going on. Now I'm going to go and put just maybe the feeling of little trees tucked in here. So I'll go to my green with my little bit of Payne's gray or black even. And let's just line some little trees here. Like that. Just kind of drawing your eye in to the picture into different places. Now I have to be really careful here because I could be overworking, but I think that's really fun. And I'm really having fun with mixing all the different mediums lately. I think that's been a lot of fun for me. There we go. Maybe do this hill in the background. And I used a little bit of gray there. Just softening that line. There we go. I mean, this is, boy, talk about layers here, you guys. This is a lot of layers. And we could even do the tiniest little fence here. Let's see, let's get a dark brown. I'm gonna go for this Van Dyke brown here. This is one of the reasons too I love this 6 long round brush, because it can get really dark. I mean, really fine. And let's just put in the tiniest little glimpse of maybe some fence posts. I love that. There are tons of these little fence posts here in the park, and they line the hills. So there you go. I think I'm going to leave this as it is. I don't want it to get too much busier. I had some salt I had used in here before. So that's why you're seeing a little bit of that salt effect in here. But I quite like that. So I wanted to bring this to you because I think it's so fun to go back and rework our paintings and apply things we've learned and some things like that. I think it's really, really fun. So there you go. I hope that gave you some ideas. You could even go into, let's see, where's my gouache, my white gouache? I may not have it here. Oh, here it is. Oh, there's some in my palette here as well. And you could add in some fluffy little clouds like that. What I will typically do is just soften with a damp brush those edges with just a clean damp brush, and it kind of just gives a little interest here. Okay, well, I think I'm done, guys. I hope this was kind of fun. Get out this, I will list this. I found this in all my things, and I liked it because it really came out white. Sometimes with white gouache and so forth, once it dries, it gets a lot lighter, and I really liked this for that purpose. All right, happy painting, everybody. Have fun. I really, truly believe that when you're having fun painting, it shows, and I will see you all soon. Thanks for being a part of my community here. Bye-bye.